This is the third recording for Caesar in September 2013. The first thing is that write down this declension for the word he, or that guy. Is nominative, eos, his, ae, to him, eum, him, eo, with or by him. Okay? Is, eos, ae, eum, eo. Nihilo minus is the second term I want you to write down. Less by nothing, literally. Nihilo. Nihilo means by nothing, and minus means less. So nonetheless is how you should translate it. Post eos mortem nihilo minus helvetii, after his death, that is Orterigix, sorry. The Swiss understand the verb will come at the very end of the sentence. The Swiss are going to try. So the basic sentence so far is the Swiss, and then eventually you'll find out what they're going to do is try. But it's interrupted by the next clause, for which you need to know constitui means I decided, constituerunt means they decided. So they, the Swiss, comma, id quod constituerunt facere conantur. So id quod, that which, id equals that, quod in this case should translate which. They had decided, it's had decided because it's E-R-A-N-T, so that means it's had decided to do that which they had decided to do, conantur, they tried. So the Swiss try to do that which they had decided to do. This is what they decided. Ut e finibus suis exeant. Ut, just to translate here, is to exeant. Just translate exeant as go out. It's the subjunctive form of exeunt, go out. So don't worry about why it's subjunctive for right now. Go out e finibus suis, from their finibus. So you know what that means by now. Ubi iam se ad eam rem pratos esse arbitrati sunt. So arbitrati sunt means they thought. When already they thought, arbitrati sunt, when already they thought, se paratos esse, that they were ready. So directly they would have said, if it were in quotes, sumus parati ad rem, we are ready for the thing. Third person would be, they are ready for the thing. The quoted version of this would be, indirect quote would be, they thought that they ready are for the matter. So when already arbitrati sunt, they thought, se ad rem paratus esse, they were ready for the matter, that is the matter of getting out of Dodge, so to speak. Opita sua omnia numero ad duodecim vicos ad quadringentos reliqua privata aedificia incendunt. So you have to wait till the end to get to the verb. Incendunt, they burn, just like incendiary, and then what they burn, there are three things that they classify here. Opida means towns. And then it tells you how many of those there are. Ad duodecim, about 12. Next, there are villages, hamlets. and there are quite a few more of those. Ad quadringentos. The way you handle number words like this is you look at the end. If it's G-E-N, then it means hundreds. If it's G-I-N, that means tens. So this is hundreds, and how many hundreds is told you at the beginning. Quadrin, 400. Villages, hamlets, about 400. And the third thing, reliqua privata aedificia, the rest of the buildings that are private, they burn. So they burn all three of these categories of things. Frumentum omne, all the grain, praeter, except quod secum portaturi erant, comburent. So again, they burn together, comburent. The frumentum omne, all the grain, praeter quod, except what they were, this is what I want you to take some trouble over, they were porta, porta means carry, turi is just the future participle ending, which you should translate as gonna right now. That they were gonna, excuse me, carry secum with them. Like mecum with me, tecum with you, vobiscum with you plural, nobiscum with us plural, with us. Okay, got that? All right. Ut domum reditionis spe sublata paratiores ad omnia pericula subiende essent. And this is why they did it. Ut, so that they were paratiores. So paratus means ready. The ending iores normally means more. So it means more ready, readier, so that then the verb essent, they were, paratiores, more ready. Ad omnia pericula subeende is a long gerundive clause, spelled like this, to parse like this. Ad means in this context for, and sub means under. Eunda is related to the word eunt. Eunt means go. Eunda means going. Gerund in Latin with this morpheme is very much like an English the English gerund ing. Okay. So ready for, undergoing. Okay. Omnia pericula, all dangers. Okay. That's the main part of the clause, and this is the ablative absolute at the beginning, with blank having been blanked. So in this case, with spe having been sublata. And spe of what? They tell you here, reditiones domum, of returning home. See, in reditiones, reditio, like the word reddit, which means go back. Goes back. They can make a noun out of that redditio, the genitive of which is reditionis, of going back. So with spe, hope, having been sublatad, having been destroyed, of returning home, so that, comma, with spe, having been sublated, of reditionis domum, so close comma, so that essent, they were paratiores more ready ad omnia pericula subienda. Trium mensum molita ciberaria sibi quemque domum effere jubent. They ordered effere, to take out, that each take out from their home grain having been milled trium mensum, for 3 months for themselves. Okay, so jubent, they order, and whom they order are quemque, each. What they ordered is effere. F means out, and fere means carry. Carry out. And domo just means where they could carry out from home. And what they should carry out is kibaria. Food. Kibaria. Molita, so that's already been milled food. For 3 months, and for themselves. Persuadent Raurakis et Tulingis et Latobrigis finitimis. They persuade, the next verb, it's a relatively simple passage. They persuade, and then whom they persuade are these 3 groups. The Raurakis, you can just call them the R people, the Tulingis, the T people, and the Latobrigis, the L people, who their neighbors, finitimis. They persuade them to do what? To, uti, just like ut meant to, in this case uti also means to, and then the verb that it goes with is profiscantur. So profiscor means I set out. Okay. So this is third person plural, nt, you are, that, or to set out, una cum iis. Una with cum means together with. Okay, together with iis, them, that is the helvete. And then usi, and this is how they persuaded them, usi, having made use of eodem concilio, that same plan, that is the one they just told you about, with the opides suis, with their towns and hamlets having been burned exustis. The boiosque, qui trans renum incoluerunt, and this 4th group, the boiai, and they'll get to the verb that goes with it. So what we have now is probably they is the subject. Then there's a verb we haven't told you yet, and the object is the boioi, the boii. They blank the boii. Then it describes the boii qui trans renum incoluerant. The boii who had, see it's had because of erant on the end, who had lived trans Rhinum, across the Rhine, et in agrum Noricum transierant, and had, again, because it's transierant, had gone across into agrum Noricum, into the region of Noricum, the part of Gaul, and were attacking pugnabant Noriamque. We're attacking under this other place Noream, they they decided as skiskunt, they decide rakeptos ad se socios sibi. They would be received to them as allies for them. A little awkward, but that they would agree to make them their allies. That's what it means. Erat omnino itinere duo. There were erant, so sunt is present tense. Erant is imperfect tense, past tense in this case. There were itinere duo, itinere it means literally journeys, but in this case it means routes. There were two routes almino altogether. Quibus itineribus domo exire possunt. Quibus itineribus, by which routes, sort of repeats routes, it's a little awkward. By which routes domo exire possunt. So if you just take it in order, what you end up with is this: from home to go out, they could. Sorry, could. There. So you can put that into English for me. Unum persequanos angustum et difficile. One, there are two routes. Number one is unum. That is angustum, narrow, et difficile, difficult. Per sequanos, put through these people called the sequani. And then it explains why it's narrow and difficult. Inter montum Urem et flumen Rhodanum. Between the Jura Mountains. The Jura Mountains is spelled like this. They're in southeastern France on the Swiss border. South of the Swiss border. Between the Jura Mountains and Flumen Rhodanum, which we call the Rhone. Oh, sorry. Let me spell it like that. The Rhone River. Main rivers in southeastern France. Vix qua singulicari ducerentur. Scarcely, by which, qua means by which, whereby, singulicari, a single wagon would be led. So, do care element would lead. This is passive. Do care and tour would be led. Okay. Do current active would lead. This is the active form. Okay. Mons autem altissimus impendebat. Moreover, autem, Mons altissimus, the highest mountain range, was looming over them. Impending means looming. Okay? So the result of this precarious situation, so that parapauci, very few, possin prohibere, could prohibit, understand them easily. Alterum means second. So you've had unum, now we have alterum. First, one, and second. Per provincium nostrum, through our province, the Roman province, multo focilius, that is, this iter, that's why it's neuter, iters, this root, multo focilius expedius, much easier and expeditious. Expeditious, it's a good word for you to learn. Propterea quod, because inter fines Helvetiorum et Allobrogum, because it was between the borders of the Helvetii and the Allobrogi, qui nuper pacati erant, who had been pacified recently. The Rhodanus flew, the Rhone flowed, and it is crossable by non-nullies, not none, some places by ford, vado. Extremum optum Allobrogi est proximum. The furthest town of the Allobrogi is the closest. So that's all for today. Please await further instructions.